Hmm. Mm-mm.
Play it again because he should. I don't.
Mm-mm. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Are we live? I think we live. Ralph the Pigeon, what up, man?
All right. Let me see.
Yep. We got audio. We got TO. What is good, y'all? The Gas Station Chronicles continue. Okay. The Gas Station motherfucking Chronicles continue. All right, let's do that. Bada bing. And then I'm going to have to switch over in order to pin. Unless I could pin from right here, can I? I definitely could pick comment, right? Can I pick it? Pick. Okay, that's even a little better. I'm going to pin it anyway, but like, you know, salutes to having it up there. Matter of fact, let me do it like this. Or even like this. All right. Zamora, what up? It's officially real. Hi, it's me. What up? What's cracking? All right. Flacco, what up, man? Yeah, man. Alisha passed away. Yo, even more sad. Hey, cause she passed away like 2 years ago. That shit crazy, my nigga. I think that's the part, you know, like, salutes to Alisha, right? And no offense, but like, you know, people die every day. You know, that ain't like rocket science, you know. As a matter of fact, it's the only thing that we all have in common. Everybody got to die at some point in time. But the fact that she passed away 2 years ago, like it literally, you know, not knowing for 2 years, like I think that's crazy, you know? And it just reemphasizes something that I've always said about myself is that, heck, I be in my own world, you know? I be in my own world. I make time to come out of my world to engage with y'all, you know? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but that's how to myself I be, bro. Like, you know, like 2 years don't feel like nothing. I honestly feel like I spoke to Alisha within the last 6 months. And imagine it's been, and I don't think it's been like an official 2 years. It's like a year and some change, but it's close to 2 years. I'm like, damn, my nigga, how, you know, 2 years to me sometimes be feeling like 6 months, you know? I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing, you know? It's not like I'm sitting around stressed. You know, if I was stressed, and I would say it's obviously a bad thing because you're stressed out. But like, I'm not stressed. Like, You know, shit kind of smooth sailing for me right now. So I'm just like, damn, bro, like how the fuck you lose track, you know? But, you know, it is what it is, man. 2 years, man. Yo, the chronicles continue, man. You see that fuzz? Fuck going on right there, man. You see that fuzz right there? We're gonna try it out, man. We're gonna try out the fuzzy fuzz. Yo, time do be flying, bro. And I be trying to slow that mug down, bro. You know, any way I can, I try to slow it down. Gas station chronic is crazy. How crazy you think it is, though? Break it down, man. How crazy is it? Yeah, this is the, I ain't gonna hold you. I think this is the first time I've ever run across a powdered cone. Okay. All right. Here goes nothing. This bitch making noises, nigga. Fuck going on? Crazy. You know, it got like a little wetness to the tip too. That fuzz look potent. Yo, it's making all types of sounds too, nigga. What the fuck going on, man? That powdered weed, but not a powdered joint. Rice crispy joint. Yo, for real. Look what the tip look like though. Kind of weird, right? But yeah, man. Yeah, sadly, man. Now I ain't gonna sit and act like, you know, me and Alisha was like like the closest, you know. We were definitely acquainted. She definitely considered me a friend. I considered her a friend, although, you know, most of the relationship that we shared was via text, over the phone. You know, I only ever met Alisha one time, and, you know, technically fucking y'all seen how that played out. You know what I mean? Like, we only lasted maybe like, you know, definitely less than 24 hours. I want to say maybe like 12, 13 hours, you know? So like, yeah, man, you know, it sucks. You know, I always wanted to link back up with her, man. I always felt like we never really got to, we got to make like a little content inside the studio and stuff like that, but we never really got to get outside with it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't just say this because she's passed away. You know, I said it back then. You know, matter of fact, I got to look to see, because I think that I have a stream. There's a stream that we didn't get to watch the other day, that it was actually the stream after she left, that I kind of was like breaking down how I felt and how I was kind of frustrated with her. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I've always said it. You know, I think she had potential to be a good streamer. Only because, and here's the thing. She had potential to be a good streamer, you know, but her secret weapon was that manic that she had. Don't hold it in too long. Higga, you sound like Preezy. All right? Are you gonna start telling me a certain amount of seconds that I gotta hold this shit? And I'm gonna say the same thing I always say, man. Can I enjoy my shit? Can I enjoy it, man? Okay? To me, it's not rocket science to smoke. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own style. Like, can I just enjoy it? I don't want to be counting seconds and shit and doing mathematics and stuff just to blow it down. You know? I'm just saying, man. But yeah, man, poor Alisha, bro. You know, you know, at least an update, which is nothing, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna check my shit because I posted it the other day. The only thing is that it's on Facebook, and Facebook is probably the app that I engage with the least. No offense. I don't know why that is though. I just find myself more attracted to other platforms other than Facebook. Yo, did y'all hear that MySpace making a comeback? They about to bring MySpace back, man. Yo, you know what I want to do though? I really want to go to the movies, man. And not like one time. I'd like to go back to the movies like full time, like every other day type shit. The thing is that the movie theater that's over here, there should only be having like 2-3 movies in it. It's a small movie theater. I had to get back to my international Regal type movie lineup. Damn, mama on here. Let me see. What is this? I don't know what this is. I'm trying to see if anybody even commented on what I wrote. This is a day ago. I'm looking. I might just come out and ask, man. Oh, shit crazy. Shit crazy, but people die every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit hella mixed up. It's all over the place. I don't see nothing tagged for me. Let me see. Damn, crazy, but okay. The original message I read, the original message I seen was Turtle League Barry hashtag like what up, dog. Today would have been Alicia's 36th birthday. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't miss her. I miss her silliness the most. She was so damn corny, and she actually made you laugh. And today, instead of mourning her, I want to honor her. As I shared before, I, along with some family and friends, will be walking in support of suicide prevention in her memory. Our hope is that one day no family will have to experience the heartbreak that others and many others have. Sorry that I'm shaking y'all. Now, the thing is that, you know, like when I listen to something like that, you know, I kind of break it down and I say to myself, well, everybody dies. So that's not really something that you just say if someone just died, like died from old age or die, you know, even maybe a sickness, right? But when it has to do with a sickness or it has to do with a life that has been lost way earlier than expected, you know, right there, they're doing a walk for suicide prevention in memory of her. Why? But, you know, don't get me wrong. Like, Alisha has spoke to me a few times in reference to the topic of suicide. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I get that part, but like, you know, it just makes me guess that that's what happened, you know? I just wonder, like, you know, like, what's that final couple of minutes of your life look like? You know, are you sitting there with some type of weapon? Obviously, you have a plan on how you about to lead this mug, right? But like, some people tend to do it in a very violent type fashion, while others might do it. You know, I feel like there's you know, especially like, I guess like eating a bunch of pills and stuff like that right there is like, you know, you're going to probably like pass out and die, you know, versus like someone else will probably put a, you know, a shotgun to the back of their fucking throat. I'm just going to just come out and ask, man, you know, what's the worst that could happen? I get cursed out. Matter of fact, let me check. Let me see. I want to see if maybe anybody else wrote anything. A lot of happy birthdays, a lot of RIPs. I almost want to just hit the person on the... I'm going to send a message, man. I need both my hands. I'm just going to type and see if I could just get the, figure it out. Yo, you know, it's another thing though, like, you know, I guess it's kind of sucky, like when you think about it, that, you know, like, what if she did, like, take her life, you know? If she took her life, you know, what was the manner in which she did it? If there is a manner at which she is sitting there, you know what I'm saying, like, contemplating or, you know, just finishing up what her last thoughts are at that moment in time, it kind of sucks to know that, like, damn, nigga, like, you didn't even, you know, you're not, you know, like, well, I don't want to say you're, because it's really me. And I just, you know, I think kind of sucks to know that, like, you weren't somebody that could motivate her out of that, you know, if you really think about that. Because if she's there in her last moments, right, and she frustrated or whatever the case may be, doesn't she want to talk to somebody? You know, doesn't she say, man, I'm gonna call Zaya because, you know, Zaya's, you know, he really be talking that shit that I like to hear. You know, he wasn't even an option. Okay. Hell, you found out. Like, if she died in like a car accident, then that's something different because that's like mad unexpected. But it almost sucks because I almost don't want to know. You know, if it was some shit like, oh, you know, she was going through something and, you know, she just picked up and did something to take her life. You know, you kind of think like, damn, like, you know, she ain't hit a hiccup or nothing. You know, did she say goodbye to people? Like, you know, did she leave a note behind? Did I even make it into the note? I don't think so. You know, I guess I was just some fucking person she met online. You know, obviously, right? You're not that special in someone's life. All right. I sent the message, man. Let's see what happens. Would you like to know how or what happened? You know, again, like the curiosity in me wants to know what happened, but like, you know, and you know, I'm just telling you how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure this sounds messed up because at the end of the day, like Alisha, you know, she lost her life. You know, so it's not like I'm trying to make it about me, but it's just like, damn, you know, like she never mentioned that. You know, now I know she was going through her issues with the ex-husband. You know what I'm saying? Like he definitely came out on top in the situation. Um, I think Alicia's, you know, I think Alicia had like a breakdown at some point in time that, you know, and that's when you got to be real careful. You know, you end up having some type of breakdown or something like that, and then you get like diagnosed. And what you do is you take your odds at a situation and you make them worse, right? So her odds, you know, at the very least being able to like see her kids, you know, like half, at least down the middle half, or even get her kids, it started going in his favor because she was having the breakdown. You know, that's what I would try to kind of like coach her through, like, yeah, you got to chill, you know, like the thing is that she wanted to prove that she could make it, you know? And I really do think, she had a lot of good ideas. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that she was just everywhere with it, you know? So I was just like, yo, you got to try to focus on trying to bring all that kind of like tight inward and then like follow through to some of these situations. And, you know, you'll be surprised, Alisha, like you'll be able to get this stuff done, you know, along with the social media. I always say that social media helps, with what and who, locally, you could always, and technically based off if you're selling also a product, if you got something that you're trying to offer to the world, you know, and it don't have to be local, then I'm always going to say you got to develop some type of social media. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just, you know, it kind of sucks that she never mentioned that, you know? I don't think she never made me think that she was suicidal. Manic, yes. A little all over the place, very energetic, yes. But like wanted to take her life? No. You know what I'm saying? So like, I wonder what she was going through. Now, I know she was going through something because she definitely would hit me up to complain about the husband, the ex-husband, you know? And, you know, I kind of get where he coming from too. Like, you know, you got a shorty that you've invested time, energy in, you've started a family with her. And, you know, one day she just ups and, you know, want to do things, you know, totally different, you know? Now they kind of were like, I feel like she told me that they kind of, you know, it's like any situation that you've been with the same person and you're having kids and shit like that. Like y'all gonna get tired of each other. Everybody get tired of the other person. Some of y'all are able to just kind of, you know, dig in and last longer. But like in reality, you start to get tired of a person and stuff like that. I think it was from both ends. And then she just kind of just up and just made a move, you know? And then the next thing she's on a stream, bro. And imagine, you know, it's a chatter. You know, it sucked because I always told myself like, yo, you should have told her no. You know, you should have told her that, you know. But at the same time, like, how is it my fault? You know, like, you know, somebody hits me and they're just showing interest in streaming, you know, interest in social media and stuff like that. You know, seems cool, you know, brings something to the equation for me. You know, like Alisha had everything going on, you know, the problem is that, you know, she was just manic. That's it. You know, like, I don't think I was ready for, you know what she was? I don't think I was ready for this at that time. And it was to have, sort of like a student. You know, Alisha was different in that aspect where technically she's a student that I got to teach her how to do things, you know, versus like maybe she's like just her own streamer already, you know, Alisha, David Stone. Alisha was like the female David Stone in a way, right? These eccentric people that you meet in your life and, you know, you create content with them, you know, but they definitely bring something to the table because they, you know, they're a little wacky. You feel me? That's the one thing. They both was a little wacky. You feel me? So, you know, it sucks, man. Yo, if that's her sister bad. That might be her sister. Debt and a drug addiction or a breakup? Damn, for real, yeah. Yo, honestly, I think there was an issue though. Like, and that's what I said that like, you know, the moves that she made, and I think she mentions it in the live stream. Remember, I think she either got committed, like they thought she was bugging. You know what happened? I think it happened mad fast. She started bugging out and just saying, fuck it, nigga, you know, fuck this shit. And just started kind of being out that she made everybody around her scared that, yo, there was something wrong with her. So they tried to commit her to a hospital. And I'm almost certain, I'm trying to think, you know what I mean? Like Shanta, you know, it's not like I want to put out her business like that. But like in a way, like you know, like she's no longer here. So I feel like I definitely want to, you know, put out, you know, everything that I think is important. And, you know, that's what the problem is. if you get committed to a hospital or something like that. And I don't know who did the committing. Yeah, I'm trying to think back, but I just don't want to point the finger at nobody and get it wrong. So I know this part of the story. I just don't remember who the person was. Who was it that got her committed? I think what you're, like, if it's anyone like on her side of the family, like her mom or her sister or anything like that, they might be thinking that they're doing something to help you, but in a way they're going to kind of fuck you over, because then you're going to have you're going to have that stigma on you, if that makes sense, like you're going to, like the husband, the ex-husband now, he could go to court and say, I need, possession of the children. Look, she already getting committed and stuff like that. So she crazy. And Alisha kind of made it seem as if that kind of had already happened and it was successful. Remember, that's how Alisha was able to get out, like, because technically the children weren't in her care. They was in his care. So I feel like, maybe I don't remember her telling me officially, but like, damn, I wonder if she like ended up like losing custody. And then, that's the part, like, I don't know. So, I'm going to make up all these scenarios in my mind, but I did ask somebody, hopefully they tell me, I still feel a certain type of way though. I'm like, damn, she ain't hit me up or nothing. Shout out to Confederate Kenny, right? It's sad. I wish people would make an attempt to ask for help instead of hurting themselves if that's what happened. That's the part that I feel like is going to bother me. Like if it ends up being something where, if I could break it down in my head and I say, damn, but there's time for you right there to think about, like, damn, man, let me talk to somebody, before I just totally lose it. And, I feel like we've had this type of, she definitely hit me up. It was a time that the ex-husband, he got a new girlfriend. Oh man, that girl hit me up to fucking complain. Here's the thing though. She ain't hit me up and she on the phone. No. The same way you see her on the stream is how she sounds on the phone. Yo, let me tell you about what this motherfucker doing right now, bro. He got this next bitch. And I'm like, for real? I'm like, well, like Alisha, like, it is what it is. You feel me? Like, if you're showing him that you moving on, well, why shouldn't he be allowed to move on? You know what I mean? So I know she definitely hit me about that one. That one, I remember that convo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might have spoke like maybe like, I ain't gonna hold you, probably like 15 times or less. It definitely, Alisha, obviously, like, I definitely can't be no once a week type higger. That was sort of like the kind of embarrassing. I'll keep it 100, bro. Like when all this first started happening, because it happened mad fast, and it was so funny how like coincidental everything was, that I was just like, yo, right now somebody trying to talk to me. It might be mama, who knows? It could be a ghost. Somebody's trying to talk to me right now. They're doing things to get my attention that, yo, something's up, peep. So first and foremost, the content of when I first streamed with her, whatever that date is, was the same exact date that I found out that she had passed away. Okay? So like that part right there, like, who trying to talk to a higger right there? You feel me? Like, how did that happen like that? Again, I'm telling you, I feel like it's been months. It's been years since I spoke to Alisha. And I'm like, I kind of really had to like look. I definitely looked like 2-3 times at the same thing. Like, am I tripping? Like, I honestly just talked to her, right? I go on my phone. I don't have no phone thread for her. Already, I'm like, something's super suspect. We definitely text. Okay? There definitely was a talking style conversation with her. That shit is completely gone off my phone. I have no reason why. I have no reason to know why that it's off my phone. If you was to ask me, well, Zay, what do you think happened? I literally would tell you, I don't know. I think the only thing I could think happened is that I deleted it, but like, why? Besides that time that she was at my crib, me and Alisha never had that was the only time that we had like a disagreement in that moment. You know, no other time on the phone did we even have like disagreements like that. You know what I'm saying? So I always attributed it to, it was kind of like me, my fault. Now, what I could have done, right? What I could have done, you know, if I could go back and change things, like that morning, I would just tell Alicia that, you know, we could go to Miami and we could get a car, but you're going to have to wait until I get some sleep. Because obviously I'm the driver, you know? And the thing is that there ain't nothing wrong with what I'm saying. You know, usually there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. It's how you're saying it. You know what I'm saying? So like, it wouldn't be in a fighting type way with her. I would just let her know like, yo, I'm going to get the car, but I got to get some sleep. Yo, but I'm going to be the one to drive this and a third. I'd rather not, you know, no offense, but you know, just business wise in general, like if I'm the person that rents the car, you know, I either have to put you as another driver or like, you know, you can't drive. I ain't about to take no chances for what? You know, like I hate when people take chances like that. You know, if something goes wrong, bro, you're going to be fucking screwed. So like, why even do that? And the thing is that I don't mind driving. So like, you know, I again, as long as I get my sleep, you know, I don't mind driving. She would have just had to wait. Instead, and the thing is I think she said some slick shit to me or some shit like that. You know? So I was even more like, man, get your ass up out of here, nigga. Like, you ain't gonna be talking to me slick. You know? Sometimes you gotta accept a little slick talk. You feel me? Like, especially if money is on the line. I feel like Alisha, you know, y'all didn't really get to like, you know, engage her out in public. You know? Or see what she does out in public. You know? I feel like she would have made a couple dollars. You know? Alicia's a lost talent. You know? It's even crazy because, like, you know, I definitely feel bad from her passing away, right? And I hate to even label this, man, but you know, like, it's gonna be fucked up, man. You know, Alicia technically is like a locale, but like, how would you say, man? Maybe she's not even a locale. Maybe people like her are more like a talent. The thing is that she would have been a locale to y'all. She wouldn't have been a locale to me because technically she's right there with me. Same thing is like Oleg. You know, Oleg is a talent. He's still a locale, but he's going to be a locale to the audience. He's not necessarily a locale to me. You know? I'm not picking at him. Have y'all ever seen me picking at Oleg? Keep it 100 though. And what was I picking at him for? The only thing I ever have said to Oleg is the space, boy. Like, give me space. Yo, back the fuck up, nigga. Like, you know, that's something that's definitely been repeated plenty of times to him. Yo, just back up, bro. But like, you know? So in a way, Alicia's like, would have been like a locale to y'all. But you know, she would have been technically part of the streamer squad that is helping to provide the content. You feel me? At the end of the day, the streamers got to kind of stick together in a way. You know? But it don't be happening like that. You know? Damn, crazy again. So, you know, again, I felt like motherfucker was kind of like talking to me like somehow, some way. Because the day that we did that content, it's the same exact day, the day that I found out that she passed away. Now, how that happened, you know, obviously it came to that like anniversary style, right? Like, so how did that happen? When it comes to that anniversary style right there, like, you know, how did you remember? Like, you know, how did it come to be? Somebody donated and they wanted me to look for some content. Okay. So I said, I agree to it. Obviously I got paid. You know what I mean? So there's an instance where I'm looking for that content. And I run across Alisha. And I told y'all, Facebook is not the, you know, I don't really be on Facebook like that, you know. But this is also what I think is happening. You know, obviously people tagged her on her birthday, right? So that's another thing that caught my attention, right? The day that I found out is Alicia's birthday. That means that yo, that's crazy. I feel like I don't think Alisha ever brought that up, you know? Because that means that she would have had to been chilling with me when we was first streaming her birthday weekend. And I'm trying to remember. I'm like, there was nothing. I don't remember ever talking about something that had to do with a birthday. The thing is that there's people that are tagging her for the birthday on the Facebook. So I know it's that day, you know? So like, people are tagging and I look and they say happy birthday. I see people saying happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Right. So I'm like, okay, that's dope. I just, in looking for this content that somebody paid me for, I ran across looking and saying, oh shit, look, that's the Alisha content right there. Yo, I got to bring that back to public and I got to holler at Alisha and say, yo, nigga, what you up to? You feel me? Like, you got any trips going on lately? You got somewhere to go? Like you trying to do something, maybe like for a weekend, just hang out somewhere, chill, talk your shit. Who knows? She probably would have I think at some point in time, she would have talked hella shit about her baby daddy. Yo, New York dad, what up, man? So, yeah, it is what it is, man. You feel me? Yo, New York dad, you're never going to guess, Popeyes. I got a warning, nigga, on your content, bro. Content that me and you had filmed. I got a warning on it. Sucks. But it happens. Yo, so, back to the Alisha shit. So, you see them things and you be like, yo, that's kind of weird. I feel like all this weird shit happening. Like you find out now, it so happens to be the birthday. When you check, not only is it the birthday, but the people that are talking are saying happy birthday, wish you was here, happy birthday, I miss you, happy birthday, RIP. And I was like, what? You feel me? I go to look at the dates. What about them dates though? The first day that she streamed with me, on the day, the number day, and the month is now, the day that I look and I say, oh shit. She passed away. And then it don't make it no better, that, she passed away. I look and I'm like, yo, bro, okay, she passed away and it's her birthday. Okay. But my nigga, she passed away 2 years ago. When? Like, I just feel like I just talked to this girl. And the thing is that I did, I talked to her in HS3. The thing is that, to me, HS3 feels like yesterday. And to others, it doesn't. HS3 is, more than a year ago. Or a year ago. I got a warning from YouTube, man. We had a warning from YouTube. Language. Okay? We had language warning. You feel me? That's YouTube being YouTube, though. Again, bro, YouTube, there's certain shit that they don't want you to say. Even me, like sometimes I be getting descriptive, when we talking in sexual content. And technically YouTube picks up on all that shit, bro. YouTube picks up on all that shit. You feel me? Yeah, so I don't know. So I sent someone a message. I think it's Alicia's sister. Hopefully she get back to me and tell me what the fuck happened. Obviously, I think it's gonna have to do with some suicide shit. I think Alisha probably just took her life. That would have been crazy. I want to know how she did it though. Yeah, I'm saying it might be something new, man. It might be something new, but it's for language. Crazy, man. Poor Alisha. If she felt like she had to, if she felt like she had to take her own life, bro, that's sad as fuck. Because if you really think about it, bro, like you don't have to take your own life. There's levels, like let's say you were, let's say you was on point. At least you could become a bum you know, or become like a bum, a scammer. You could have became, like I don't get how people rush straight to like, taking their own life. And then the thing is that where you think you're going though? Like when you take your own life, what you saying to yourself? You think you're gonna go like you just skipping ahead to, or you just skipping the whole wait? Like, if you believe in God, do you believe that, as soon as I take my own life, I'm gonna, I get straight up there with God and I'm with him and we hanging out and chilling? I can get up there faster than if I wait for like myself to, become deceased. What are you saying to yourself? There's the talk of, there's specific religions where he could think that he's sacrificing his life for 100 virgins, as if that's the shit, like that might have been the shit like growing up and stuff. But like when you think about it, like, like who even wants to do it with a virgin? That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna hold you. I like mine with some miles on it already, man. All right. Virgin? No, thank you, man. All right. At some point, more times than out of, 9 times, well, I don't want to say 9 times, but most times out of it happening, you're going to get someone that cries. Do you really want to be there, in a sexual position with a woman and she's crying? Hell no. Yeah, shout out to New York Dad, man. Damn, I don't have the balls to take my life, bro. And you have to be in a really dark place for that. Oh, so God doesn't even forgive that, right? There's nowhere he don't forgive it, nothing. So like if your entire life you were believing in God and then you come to the conclusion that you want to take your life, like you don't get into heaven? Is it an automatic no? I think I got a chance. If heaven turns out to be something, I think I definitely got a chance. I think God will forgive me because I didn't believe. I have reason not to believe. If God never took time out in his schedule, let's say God is real, right? If he never took out no time in his schedule to come see me, you know what I mean? Then he shouldn't be able to be mad at me because I didn't believe that he existed. All that happens is that when I get to the gates, I say, oh, shit, this was real? Okay. I'm saying, though, hey, I told you, come holler at your boy. You ain't make no time for me. So I believe even exchange, let your boy in. I'm going to be able to go right in, Okay. Okay, because as per the Bible, it says God created you and God is the only one that takes you back. So damn, you don't even get into the motherfucking. Now, what's hell like though? Can a hicker get down there and say, wait, hold on, it really is hot down here? Just darkness and little devil figures and, just mad, just heat. Everybody's miserable and, that's what it's like. I always pictured hell as like where all the mischievous people go. Sort of like going to jail. I feel like hell is like jail. And then you gotta do bad stuff. You probably work your way up, to where you're just doing bad things as devils. Obviously, because you as a devil, you just, I wonder, I feel like everybody may get an assigned devil, right? Try to make this person do as much mischievous things as you possibly can. Okay? No matter how they may present themselves to people in public, right? Like there's an assigned devil. I feel like everyone has one. And he always wins at some point in time. At some point, he's going to win. He's going to get you to do something because it just, I feel like all people like like revenge. Okay, Peppy's hoping that they got fried chicken. Popeyes at that in hell. Okay, how they say is hot because it's a place that is negative and the total opposite from heaven. But you telling me like when I get to hell and I lay there, you know, it's just fire, nigga, and just devils? You know? So like when y'all go to heaven, what is y'all thoughts of heaven though? Like what are you going to? When you get up there, it's just mad light, you know? Or do you get up there and it's just another world? Everybody just nice. So what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between like what you live in now and what you're supposed to live in when like you go to heaven and stuff? God allows the devil to test you, knowing how powerful the devil is. That's a disservice that God is doing. He should not be allowing the devil to test you. You know, but what happens when you get to heaven though? Like, you know, when you get up there, like, are you just like a worker? Are you a worker for God? You know, does he give you a job? Can you commit no sins in heaven? You know, what's a sin? So no smoking, no drinking, none of that in heaven. That's what heaven's all about. Okay. If anything, hell would be cold. You see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like maybe it's not all, you know, fires and stuff like that. You know, maybe it's like fucking Antarctica. Just snow. You know, you just stuck somewhere. You're in hell. You know? I honestly think hell is like jail. You're just going to where all the other misfits are at. And at some point in time, you got to earn your stripes. You know? Lucifer himself will call you, you know, my son, it's time that we advance in life, you know, like, you know, I'm going to need you to go out there. You're going to get assigned a human and, you know, nothing short of driving him insane and maybe turning him into, you know, a killer of some sorts. If you really think about it, you know, and you got to earn your stripes. But in heaven, what are you doing? Are you earning stripes in heaven when you go to heaven? What happens in heaven? You know, like, let's try to get some answers, man. Or at least what is the, you know, like, what's the idea? You know, heaven's pain-free, illness-free, friendly, loving. Okay. For people who believe in God, heaven is generally understood as a place or a state of existence where people are reunited with God after death. Exactly what it is like depends on the religion and even on the denomination within the religion. Most Christians believe heaven is, you know, being in the direct presence of God forever. So that Hig is just in front of you. You're in his presence. You could talk to that Hig whenever you want. You know, you're free from pain, free from suffering, free from fear, free from illness, free from death. I wish that's how we were now, you know. Even the free for death, I'll take that one if I can only choose one, right? Filled with a perfect peace, joy, love, fulfillment. A place where believers are reunited with loved ones who also shared their faith. So, mama, will I meet mama up there? You know, if I sign up for the I want to go to heaven, you telling me mama gonna be behind the pearly gates, man? Because I ain't gonna hold you, you feel me? Like, now here's the thing, because mama, you know, mama done some things too. So, you know, is there a chance that Higgins could get split up? If we get split up though, just by going into the next afterlife, right? You're either gonna go to heaven or you're going to hell. But it's part of that next afterlife. So I feel like there's some type of communication in there. Is there a way for, and again, everybody that has ever died is going to be there. That's crazy. It's going to be fucking, shoulder to shoulder in that bitch. Think about it. Our world exists because, obviously people die, and even though we create, more people leave, but you telling me in the next one, Higgins don't leave? That's crazy. I believe when you're passing, you can accept the Lord as your savior. He will accept you. I'm saying, but what is he going to do though? Is he going to holler at me? Like, all that sound good, but what does that mean? What's the relationship with me and God, man? They say the streets are paved with gold in heaven. So we walking on gold streets in heaven and nobody is trying to pick the gold or nothing. Come on, man. So Piggy will never know what heaven is like, because she has no denomination. Mama gonna be there, bro. 100. I'm excited. Listen, but can you, what ends up happening? Is there a possibility that, here's the thing. There may not even be a hell, right? Because God accepts everybody. Well, no, I guess in the instance where, look, if you take your own life, God doesn't accept you, right? You can't go into heaven, right? So you got to go somewhere. You got to go to hell. So there has to be a hell. Maybe there's not a lot of people in hell. Only the people that take their own life. Who else? Who else would be in hell? Who else God ain't taken? Oh, okay. So heaven is temporary until after Judgment Day. After that, God will make a new earth that's pure. Let me see. My thing is, how long do you live in heaven? You got a home, right? Do you got a home in heaven? Do they give you a house? Does everybody have riches? Is everybody rich in heaven? Is it free of poverty? It definitely don't say free of poverty. I ain't never seen it say that. Or do it say that everybody rich? Why do you look up when you thanking mama? I get what you're saying, because technically God, when people, praise God, obviously they go upward, right? And obviously when they praise, the devil, they praise downward. I would say more of how would you say? I don't necessarily believe in God, but the notion has always been that whatever the higher power is, he is to the, to the sky. So my mama is technically my God. You feel me? Like, and that's the funny thing, that like all of y'all, right? The way that I be sounding, y'all sometimes probably look at me like, oh my God, he don't believe in God. But the thing is that like, I believe in something though. I just don't believe in like this character that is like in the books and stuff like that. To me, like, why would I give so much attention to God, and he got all these children that he got to get to, No wonder bad shit be happening. You know why? Because he got too many kids. He can't handle everybody. He can't get to everybody. He can't try to help everybody. But if I pray to my mama, then technically, and so technically, mama, my pops, and, I had a brother. Right? So like, technically I have an older brother, right? So I would have had a younger brother as well. I would have been the middle child. You get the odds in it, right? The odds as praising this God that, bro, there's like churches, man. There's people like, going into, those are all children of God. I'm sorry, Higa. I'm not claiming that Higa as my savior, my father. If anything, my real mother, like wherever she's at, I would say that she's able to look after me or look out for me. Is she in heaven? Pulling a couple of strings, Did she not make it to heaven? She had to go to hell for some reason or another. But you know what? She made it work in hell, and in hell now she could still help me. You know, maybe it's just in the deviousness of who I can be, right? So again, I always go to the high because obviously that's always been what is to any religion. If you think about it, any God that's praised, they don't praise him to the floor, not to the floor, but like beneath your feet. You know, they don't say that my God is down there. Everybody would say that my God, whoever I believe in, is above me. You know, but I you know, again, I don't, it's not like I point upward because I believe in God. You know, I don't believe in God. I believe in my mama, though. Everything y'all do with the God thing, I do the same thing. I just do it where I'm praying to my mother. You know? Unfortunately, you know, mama don't got a church that I have to go to, which is better because, you know, it's almost, I do believe that like mama's like right over here. Most times, right here. You know? Just kind of talking. You know, you might get a little hint. You know, when the stuff happened with Alisha, I almost thought like, oh shit, hold on. That's you know, that's heavy right there. The way that that's operating right there. You know, let me take these two dates, you know, and I'm going to match them, and I'm going to, you know, how can I make this boy find out about, oh, I know what I could do. I could throw it into the donator to ask for some type of content and pay for it. You know, people got to understand that there are not a lot of donators that are like that pay directly for something like that, you know? So look, mama, was it mama working the magic? You know, or is it like some type of, you know, maybe sign that's trying to come through me? And unfortunately, you know, I still haven't been able to figure out what's the sign. You know, okay, so like what ends up being of this? Because, you know, you made it happen this type of way to make it look a certain type of way. Alicia's gone. What's going on? What does that mean? You know? No, I don't believe that anything comes from nothing. You know, obviously there's an origin to everything. You feel me? But like, I just don't think that story is the origin, if it makes any sense. You know, I just don't believe that that's the origin. You know, that's something that was written by somebody. You know, like now, could it have been a person that was seeing all these things happen? Yeah. Could it have been, you know, stories passed on through generations? People can manipulate that. You know, look at the world that I live in now. You know, people manipulate. You know, that's the game that people play, you know, trying to manipulate one another and stuff like that. So like, I know that manipulation exists. And it just didn't start with, you know, my generation. It didn't just start with the generation before that, my mama's generation, the generations before that. You know, I feel like there's been manipulation going on for a long time. So, no, I don't believe in a God, but I do, how would you say it? I do believe in a creator though. My mama is my creator. Okay. She is the God that I pray to because she is the person that created me. Plus, if you really look at it, like, you know, like if you look at God and you look at the amount of people that pray to God, if those are all his children, then, you know, I kind of like my odds of the sound of my voice to my one parent, the one that created me, you know, versus this guy who like hundreds of millions of people are praying to. All right. Well, I'm sure that when they start linking us all back, you know, like I guess at some point you will have, you know, where the creation has to start from, right? But like, again, you don't know those people. To me, it is better to be praying to someone who You knew, for instance, my mama, like, who gonna love me more than my mama? It's not like my mama ever made me to believe that she didn't love me. Never. Never. So that's not even a case, right? My mama adored me. So why wouldn't she be like, if she just got to the new land and oh shit is popping up here, yo, it's mad peaceful and stuff like that. And yo, God, can I just help my son in just certain instances? Can I just get close to him? God's going to say, of course, right? So like, why am I praying to God? Yeah. I think that's the, how would I say it, man? I feel like God is the easy, not even easy. Like, I guess just some people just don't believe that, like it's just something you got to believe. Like to me, like I believe it. Like, like I know my mama would help me somehow, some way, you know what I mean? Like the same way that God helps you, it's the same concept. You can't tell me that you've spoken to God. You've spoken to him. You can't tell me he spoke back to you. You know what I'm saying? He definitely not just, popping right here and just saying something in your ear, right? Let's be for real. So the next thing, it got to be like dreams, and what type of dream is happening, what he telling you, you know what I'm saying? What did he give you to inspire you? I feel like that's what my mama do for me. What type of evidence you need to have in order to believe in God, Smokey, to be for real? He got to talk to me, man. He got to come talk to me. I'm telling y'all that in my entire time, like living, I've never had like a dream that would make me say, oh, snap, that was God. Never. Right? So like, he got to talk to me, man. If he wants me to pledge for him, he got to come talk to me. Pop up in a dream, pop up as a ghost. Like right now, like, obviously, you don't want to make it known that you could do something like that. Right. So cool. Wait till the live stream's over. Bang. And just pop up, and talk to me and say, hey, listen, te estoy velando. My nigga, Smokey. God pops up and he hits me with a te estoy velando. Nigga, I'm in church, nigga. That's it. I'll believe I'm in church. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if he don't have the time to talk to me, then he can't have my praise, But again, like, it's not like I don't believe in nothing, right? And I'm not like a Satanist or no, I believe it. I believe that my creator, mama, is the one that be hitting me with the te estoy velando. I've had more dreams. I've had dreams with my mom. Now here's the weird part, right? I wonder what this means, right? Let me see what it means first. I'm going to tell y'all, but let me see what it means. All right. This is what it is. I'm going to tell you what I wrote. I said, if I dream of someone, but in the dream, they don't have a face. What does that mean? Meaning that I don't really be seeing my mom's face in my dreams, but the dream, I know it's her, Let's see what it says. Dreaming of someone without a face is fairly common experience, and there isn't a scientifically established meaning behind it. The interpretation depends on the perspective that you take. Here are a few common ways that people interpret it. Your brain hasn't assigned a specific identity. During the dreams, the brain often creates people who are more like roles, like in a movie, than actually individuals. A faceless person might simply represent a friend, a partner, an authority figure, a stranger, rather than a specific person. In the dream, though, I know that's mama right there. Es que for some odd reason, nunca me da la cara, right? The person's identity can't be, the person's identity isn't the important part. The dream may be emphasizing how the people made you feel rather than who you are. eBay, come on. Let's get them bids up, man. Let's get them bids up. Current bid, sheesh, $1.99. Imagine. My nigga, my corks. Nike SB corks, man. They up, man. They just went up this afternoon. Okay, $1.99, size 11.5. I'll drop the listing for y'all, man. Okay. You never know. Again, somebody gonna win it. And if it's like a crazy that is sold for $3, I'd rather one of y'all niggas. Like if one of y'all niggas get it for $3, I'll probably buy it back from you. I ain't gonna hold you. Let me see. All right. Uncertainty or the unknown. Some psychologists suggest a faceless person can symbolize uncertainty about someone, an unknown future, relationship, or aspects of yourself that you don't fully understand. Number 4, memory limitations. Dreams are constructed from fragments of memories and imagination. Sometimes the brain simply doesn't generate detailed facial features, and when you wake up, you remember the person as having no face. From a spiritual perspective, many spiritual traditions have their own interpretations, though these are beliefs rather than established facts. Some people believe a faceless figure could represent an angel or spiritual messenger, someone you haven't met yet, a symbolic representation of a life lesson, a deceased loved one whose identity isn't meant to be the focus. So it's mama. I know it's mama. That's the thing. In the dream, I'm confident that it's mama. But I've never seen the face. God has never showed up in any of my dreams. Come on, man. Come on. These interpretations vary widely and aren't something that can be verified. A few questions that often matter more than the missing face. When people analyze dreams, they often find these details more revealing. How did you feel around the faceless person? Safe, afraid, comforted, loved? I felt the love of mama. All right. Did they speak? Yes. If so, what did they say? I guess it really depends on the dream, though. But I feel like my mama has spoken to me in dreams. Were they helping you? Yes. Chasing you? No. Simply present? There might have been a couple of dreams where she might have been present. Mama has never been doing something to me poorly, badly in my dreams. Let me see. Did you have the sense you knew who they were? Hell yeah. Even without seeing a face? 100. Those details often provide more context than the missing face itself. If you tell me what happened in the dream and how you felt, I'm just going to say, man, well, I know it was mama. Never heard of the saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, does it make a sound? Apply this to your thought process of God's existence. Let me ask, though, if a tree falls in the forest and and there's no one around, does it make a sound? Come on, bro. Logically, yes. Logically, it doesn't matter if someone's around to hear it. It makes a sound. All right? I say yes. This is one of the most famous philosophical questions ever asked. And the answer depends on what you mean by sound. All right? If sound means physical sound waves, the answer is yes. Okay? When a tree falls, it creates vibrations in the air. Those pressure waves exist, whether or not anyone is even there to hear them. A microphone would record them even if no person was present. They still would have a mic, and it would pick it up. If sound means the experience of hearing, then no. Okay, from this perspective, sound isn't just air vibrations. It's what's happening when a brain interprets those vibrations without ears and a brain for some sensing device. There's no auditory experience, only pressure waves. All right. Again, though, it's a yes. It does create the vibrations that if there was someone there to hear it, they would have to interpret. Okay. So there you go. That's the point you're getting at. Okay. What does it mean, though? This equates to why I should believe in God. To me, it didn't make sense to believe in God, even by using that phrase. Okay. Here we go. Confederate Kenny. So you could interpret that about God. Because you haven't seen or heard God, it doesn't mean that he's not real. No, now, don't get me wrong. Listen, there's a part of me that says, that'd be dope if I was wrong. That I believe that will be the skill that I believe that I have, that where, when I'm wrong, I'm able to say that I'm wrong. At some point in time when my life ends and, I would think that I'm going upward, right? At some point, I'm sure God's going to say, I'm sure I'm going to get my 2 minutes. I think that's what, if there is a God, I think that's what God's job is. The new people that are coming in, you got like 2 minutes. Why should I let you in here? That's when you'll be able to say that you went to church and you did this and you did that. I also believe that, like if there is a God, he'll know, he'll be able to pull up your earth facts. What were you doing on earth? If you were doing something fucked up, it's got to pop in there. Yo, you was doing this, right? You was doing that. At some point I'm going to get the question. So like, this time, the whole time I known you ain't never got down on your motherfucking knees and prayed to me, man. Why? I'm saying, homie, you didn't have time to come check a higger, right? So like, what can you really expect? Now that I know that you're real, like, I'm down. I'm down for the motherfucking cause, nigga. You just didn't, dedicate no time to come holler at a boy. In a dream, nigga? You couldn't come see me in a dream real quick? Nah. Never? 45 years, Papa? You telling me that nigga ain't never made an appearance in one of my dreams and you want me to praise this nigga? Come on. I can't do it. There is proof of a tree on the ground at the end of the day. So you know that there was a sound. I still believe in Mama though, man. You feel me? None of y'all Higgins could get me to turn on what I believe in. I just always let y'all know that I believe in something. It's exactly the same as you. The only difference is that I'm praying to somebody specific and you're praying to this character, this person that they made up. Maybe there isn't a God, and maybe there is just like a good place and a bad place. And if you were just like bad, like to the point where you need to be punished, then you go to that place, and then the good people go to, And the bad people go to it's sort of like a jail. That's how I feel like hell is. Hell's like a jail cell. You know what I mean? A jail with just a whole bunch of other fucked up people, you know? And you're probably in just a cage and just, just waiting to be used by the devil himself. He'll come looking for you. Until then, you got to sit in the cage. Yeah. Not trying to turn you personally, just giving you different perspective. I know many have, many have, I respect people's perspective, you know, I just know that technically I'm not recruitable. And, if you ever ask me why, that is why, to me, God should have made time to come holla at me, and he didn't. And, based off the rules that I know that you guys have, I'm sure that at the last minute when I get up there, I could apologize, and I feel like I'll be forgiven. And I don't feel like there's anything that is going on in my life right now that warrants that I don't be in the better versus the worst, right? I do believe that there's a good world and a bad world, not a heaven or hell, but just a good version and a bad version. And depending, like, a serial killer, he go into the bad version. They're not letting him up here. You did too much. When you was down there, you did too much. They look at your earth facts. Also, everyone plays a character in someone else's story. Everyone is a villain or hero in someone else's story. Your mom's happens to be you. God is other people's. Yeah. I get it. Listen, if there's anyone that gets it, it's definitely me. Flacco, I'm not a complete believer. I'm just saying there had to be a sound. The tree is real. There's no direct proof God is personally talking to us. I wouldn't. This earth is fucked up. Yeah, to me, there has to be like proof. Again, my mama is on top of that, right? Like if you really think about it, like if I look at like God and I look at my mama, damn mama, that's your mama. She made you, nigga. Like salute to the beliefs, but that her fucking pussy opened up and you came out that motherfucker. She was carrying you. You was inside of her, nigga, developing and stuff. And so technically, mama is your creator. Okay? There just might be like a higher power that is, obviously, he sent it out there and it got to your mama and your mama created you. But still, mama is the creator. You feel me? Mama, you was in mama. Technically, daddy's the creator. Because you was nothing but, a fast little whippersnapper, a little sperm cell in your daddy's sack. You feel me? Warm, nigga, just waiting for that day that you could show your dad that you're number one. Because everybody technically is your number one. If you really think about it, right? Everybody's a number one. You started life as a number one. Okay? The world that we live in right now is the world of number ones. We all were number ones. So we got, put on this earth to live. You feel me? But that's the one thing we all got in common. We're all number ones. That's what this whole life is. You know that? This whole life is just a waiting room for number ones until we make it to the next, the next part. Now, I don't remember being a sperm. So I wasn't like Victor or even Zaya, the sperm cell. I don't remember that time. I don't remember saying, oh shit, I'm swimming. What am I doing? I wonder if the sperm cells, right? Like at any point in time, was there like a Was there like a major sperm cell that was telling niggas like, yo, listen, yo, one day you're going to feel like a rush and you're going to know that it's your time. Okay? I'm saying, but what do I do? Run. Run? Yes. Okay? As soon as you feel the ability to utilize your own self, you know, you're going to feel the tail. The tail's going to start moving. You're going to feel the nice pressure moving forward. Swim fast. Okay? That's it? Just swim fast? Yes. You'll know when you get there. It's going to feel different. And then at that point, you know, you're going to be a human. You're going to turn into a human eventually. You know, obviously, you know, like how long you last as a human, you know, they can't do anything about it. Now, that is where I believe in the free will part. The free will where, you know, unfortunately, somebody else's mistake could be what takes me out. You know, hopefully in the next lifetime, if it's good, like, you know, we could eliminate that part. Because I think that's kind of whack. That like if I go out right now and some dude gets into an accident, you know, if we're just traveling like on the highway and the nigga like has like a heart attack and crashes into the car, you know, and then you know, like you don't make it. Like, I don't want to be somebody else's mistake. You know, yo, tadpole marathon winners. That's what this whole earth is based off of. If you think about it, every single one of these people was faster. How many sperm cells? How many people you going up against? You have a racer, Higga. You know that you was born with just racing in your genes. You feel me? You was a runner, nigga, as a baby. You just didn't know it yet. You know? How many sperm or how many individual sperms are you battling to make it to the egg? You ready? Here's a typical breakdown. A typical ejaculation. My nigga, pay attention, bro. Okay? This is why you shouldn't be allowed to take your life. Because you're not understanding, you know, the chance that you got, you know, to be wasting years. And I feel like anybody that wants to take their life, there should be some type of way where you can pass on that person's years to somebody else. You know, like why should the person just, you know, a teenager? What? You telling me that human being had, you know, realistically could have had another 30, 40, 50 years on that body and we lost it? Like, you know, like a typical ejaculation contains about 200 to 300 million. You're in a race, Higga, with 200 or 300 million other cells. Whatever you are, that's them. Okay? The race of all races. You know, coming from the cock of a man. Technically, man is the real creator. You know, women is just where. Okay, I got one, right? Bread. Or like the material to make the bread, yeast and whatever, everything put together. You got that. You got bread. They're both the same thing, right? One just, you had to cook it in order to get it to, that's what the woman body is. You're just cooking up that egg right there, you know? Cooking it up, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it gets to the point where it just doesn't fit inside your body. He got to come out. Somehow, some way, we got to get it out of you. You know, that Higga cannot be inside you. Which is insane, right? Like, all babies are born. Was there a baby that was never born? No, right? Even if a baby dies inside of a female, like they just take it out. But like, what if it doesn't die? And it just keeps growing and growing and growing? Bro, we got to pull that motherfucker out. Where could we get him out of? You have a JJ, nigga. The hole, they made the hole when they made the body. They put the hole right near, like, your vagina. So it got to go through your vagina. Or at least it got to come out through your vagina. That's crazy. A human? Ugh. Ugh. 200, 300 million Higa in the race. Okay, the race of all time. Though it can range from 15 million to over 300 million, depending on the person and other factors. After ejaculation, the vast majority never make it very far. Damn. Imagine all them losers. Many leak out of the vagina, taking the little trail down, or die in the acidic environment. Millions never even make it through to the cervix. Only thousands out of the millions, only thousands reach the uterus. So technically we was fast to get to the uterus. All of us, only thousands reach the uterus. Only a few hundred typically make it to the vicinity of the egg in the fallopian tube. So that right there is an experience. It's like, right? You already passed mad higgers. Them higgers is somewhere running down a leg, somewhere getting wiped into a towel. They gone. Usually just one sperm successfully penetrates and fertilizes the egg. Once that happens, the egg quickly changes its outer layer to prevent additional sperm from entering. That's it. Just one, man. One wins. If you look at it as if it's a race, 200 to 300 million starting, 100 to 1,000 get close to the finish line. Only one wins. You're looking at them. I'm looking at it too, but you're looking at it. Okay? You ask me, those are God numbers. I'm just going to claim it. To me, those are God numbers, man. Chris Street, what up, man? Yeah. Sperm cells. Or doubt sperm cells even know what they're doing. They're just following their coding, trying to survive. Same as germs, humans, animals, etc. I believe that. I honestly do. Ooh. Chris G, salutes, man. Super chat received. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Salutes to the 5. Jonathan Flocko, I wonder what the runner-up's name. That's too many to think of, man. 200, 300 million. Even if it's a million, that's a lot. The name that counts, winner, Victor. Let's go. Okay, Higgins thought they was faster than me? Nah, nigga. I'm fast as fuck, boy. I'm fast as fuck. All right? My tail was moving. I obviously got to the egg. I got to experience everything. See, that's the thing. I don't remember that part, though. So that's the part that concerns me. If I can't remember that part, then am I going to remember this part when I get to the next part? So that goes back to what y'all believe in. Technically, we both could kind of come up with this. If you go to heaven, right? Like, how do you go to heaven, though? Like, do you go to heaven where you're born again? You start as like a baby? Are there babies in heaven? When you go to heaven, do you stay the age that you was in heaven? Do you start over, does it start from wherever you stopped here? Okay? You ask me, God numbers. That all of us are, technically. It just sucks that, it just doesn't get passed on, Or maybe it does. I wish I could have remembered what it was like traveling, through the fallopian tubes and shit and what was going on. Like, oh shit, yo, this is crazy. Was it like a roller coaster and a higa just riding it and stuff? Does a higa gotta walk? You trying to figure out what the fuck going on. Higa's just swimming. They swimming up the canals and stuff, trying to get to that one room that's open. And when you get there, you look back, man, most of them Higgas is gone. Higga, you only in the thousands now, then the hundreds. Then you realize you won. I don't remember throwing a party for me winning. I don't remember me being happy, or I don't remember none of that. So again, what's the expectation? Like when you go to the next life, like, do you go as how you got there? What age you got there as? If you die right now, do you go to talk to me, Chris G. What do you believe? Like when you pass, Higga, like where you going? Do you even go somewhere? I honestly feel like the shit just turn off, nigga, and that you don't know nothing. It's just over. Okay, you remember like 4 or 5? Higgins ain't remembering they sperm days though, man. Come on. Imagine a Higgins say, hey, I remember. You remember when you was a sperm, nigga? No, you do not. Nobody. What are you talking about, Higga? I was swimming. No, Higga. Okay? I feel like you only could remember. I don't even think, does a person remember being born? Yo, it was crazy. I remember that shit. Bro, I was coming out the hole. Nigga. Nigga, you do not remember that shit. Nigga, stop playing. If I had to guess, heaven doesn't, by human standards, this might be too deep, but I imagine it being, it'll be whatever is the version of yourself you remember.
Flacco sent $5 just a dono.
Yo, Flacco, man, I appreciate you, dog. Hold on, man. Where's my box at? Let's go like that. Yo, salutes, man. Shout out to Flacco, man, with the 5, just a dono. Popeyes, I appreciate you, man. Salutes to you, pa. Run that shit again. I gotta see where it's at.
Holla! Flacco sent $5 just a dono.
Oh, snap. So did you see that? Look, it's not even getting big here. I think StreamYard did something. That's why it doesn't get big on my computer. I'm just using this for
Holla!
Right there. You see,
Flacco sent $5 just a dono.
That sucks. It stays mad small like that. Shout out to Flacco, man. So you'd be whatever the version of yourself you could remember. Same with how you see others. Life after death is exactly what life was before birth. The conscience to everything is void. No self-awareness. I don't get it. Life after death, you start a new life, Higa, or you continue on the life that you was living? You're just in a different spot. I don't think that it's anything related to we're going to remember in the next lifetime, this lifetime. Because I asked, well, I don't remember anything from a previous lifetime, so that kind of sucks. You know, I may not even be, you know, who knows? Well, hopefully, yeah. Am I Victor in the next one? What do you believe? Yo, this gas station smoke definitely got me a little high. I ain't gonna hold you. It means you have no conscience, so it means you won't even be aware of anything at all. There's no existence. Damn. That's it. It just turns off and it never turns back on. That's whack. That's a whack way to go out. The way we go out. But there's always a possibility that, you know, there is something. You know, hopefully we remember. Hopefully we are at the top of the whatever is meant to be. Hopefully we're at the top of it, to where we're just working into the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And maybe we remember who we were. We just know we're in a different spot now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I definitely don't remember nothing prior to this. Salute to the 22 people up in here, man. What up, y'all? Happy Sunday. Yo, boy, I'm hawking them damn eBay notifications, man. Okay, I'm hawking them eBay notifications. We moving into the next phase, man. Yo, I still can't believe how many sneakers I got left, bro. Like, it's crazy. This is the lowest I've been, boy, years. Okay, years. And still, I can't view myself as like, bro, like, when it gets to like 50, and then like 30, and then like 10. That shit's gonna be crazy. It's a crazy feeling now. Well, I remember where a 2-bedroom was a must. You feel me? A 2-bedroom was a must, and the one of the bedrooms was just as like a stock room, always for the fucking all the shoes and clothes and everything. Shit crazy. That shit never fit in no damn plain old closet. And they busting that nigga up, man. Crazy fight. Damn, them niggas is fighting. Hold on. Yo, happy Sunday, man. Zero's Nightmare, what up? Oh.
Size 6.5. Get in there. With the bag as well. Someone grab the his her set, try go. Hell, y'all need to shut the fuck up.
Crazy. A fight. 2 a.m. drunk. Higgins just started wailing on 2 dudes. It's like 4 or 5 dudes wailing on 2 dudes. Inside of a nice crib, bro. They effing the crib up. They're all fighting in like the kitchen area. See, it's only 1, 2, 3. There's probably like 6 people, 6, 7 people jumping 3 people. Sounds like a disaster. It is. It is. What up, y'all? Yo, salutes to the 12, man. Salutes, man. Interesting conversation today. Yo, so like, let me see. Let me see if I get a little update real quick. You know, I'm kind of nervous to get the update from the sister. You know, I want to see. I wonder if they'll tell me. Damn. Chill, Nick. Chill. Chill, B. Chill. Got to be some liquor involved. It was labeled drunk, you know. The Higgin that was getting beat up. At some point in time, they kind of open up and he comes out and he looks like he ain't even phased, bro. And that's usually the look of a drunk person. You know what I'm saying? He definitely was catching some shots and came out looking confidently dazed and confused. Damn.
skip me, man.
What's good?
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
Each time, no breathing. Fuck, if I cut my arm bleeding.
WK.
Yeah.
LOL.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
I like your username.
What is it?
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
You ain't gonna do nothing to me, man. You ain't gonna do nothing to me,
I'm
man.
gonna beat the fuck out of you. I'm gonna kill you, bro.
You ain't gonna do nothing to
Daily.
me, man. Hey, what up, Italy?
The fuck?
What's up, Italy? What's up, dude?
What's up, nigga?
What's my name? What's up, Mason? How's your day so far?
What? Huh?
How's your night so far?
Hella good. How's your night going?
It's alright. It's alright. I'm just waiting for
I prefer Colonel Sanders.
I prefer Colonel Sanders? Yeah, I got some wings coming. I'm just waiting on my wings. Where's the wings?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me, man. What's wrong with you, man?
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of just want to call you like a nigger right now.
Damn.
Yeah, that's my name. But like,
Yeah,
what's going on with your social life?
fucking bitches getting money. Wait, how old is she?
I'm 36, man. How old are you, bro?
15.
Cap.
Cat.
Wait, Cap?
Who the fuck just said that?
He's sucking on a sucker. That's all you need to know.
No.
Is that true?
Are you on a stream right now?
Yeah, I'm live streaming right now.
How many people you got on your stream?
692 people.
This kid is a weirdo.
This kid is a weirdo? Yeah, that's why I asked him what's wrong with his social life. I want to know.
21.
He skipped. He skipped. Yo, Eminem! Damn, Eminem was just on this right now. Eminem.
Skip.
Yeah.
How do you say your name?
Your name?
It's Niger.
Oh.
Oh. I thought it said Mitt.
Can't believe he just said that. That's crazy. Cancel that guy.
Show me your dick, nigger. Fuck you, bitch. Hello.
Sad dude.
What the fuck is that? It's a cat, bitch.
Weirdo.
There's a cat in the middle of the road.
Yo, that looks like goose cheese. Yo, doesn't that look like goose cheese right there? I thought it was goose
Is this
cheese.
an open panel?
You're not Gucci.
Yo, are you...
My cousin put. Oh,
Those titties.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Hey, what up, dope girl? Is this an open panel? Nah. Hold on. If anybody wants to join, let's see. Let's see if we can...
OMG, that does look like Gucci's.
Yeah, it does look like Gucci.
Hey, what's
That's
up?
what I'm saying. Squad. Come on, first.
Let's team up in squad mode on Monkey.
Come over
Tap
here.
the link to join me. Invite expires in 6H. https://www.monkey.app//home. Duo_code 298172197C978588L896193486037. Are we on some chat roulette shit?
Dope girl, hit the link. Hit the link. Let's go live together. That'll be fun.
Dope girl, you single?
Yeah, she's single. She's a streamer, actually. If you guys want to follow her, she's a streamer. She's an actual streamer. Hit the link. I want to see you here. I want to see you pop up here.
Ricky horny AF tonight.
Rick is... Yo, calm down, Rick. Slow down. All right, let's see if Dope Girl hits the link. Or anybody can hit the link. Whoever's first, just hit the link. And then let's do this. Let's go live. Let's talk to random people.
Rick Fitty. Rick needs post-nut clarity.
She's a Mexican streamer. I think she's from Texas or something like that. Oh, she's not single. Oh, I thought she was single. All right, F it. It don't matter. Just hit the link real quick. Create an account. Let's hang out.
Okay, sorry.
We are apologizing. Like Deepak. Like Deepak.
Rick, go jerk off.
I apologizing right now.
TBH, if I had clothes on I would join, but I just took a shower and I'm naked, LOL.
Damn. Join right now. Dope girl got some big old titties, man. Dope girl, she has some big old titties. F it. Alright, we're gonna go solo then.
Oh shit, this shit about to die. Yo, chat, I'll catch you on a little bit, man.